Hello everyone, my name is Jacqueline and welcome to a new book video. Today's video is going to be my top 5 Colleen Hoover recommendations for you guys to start out with if you want to start liking Colleen Hoover. So I'm going to go backwards and I'll start with number 5 and go all the way to number 1. If you don't know anything about me, I am a huge Colleen Hoover fan, but that doesn't mean that I think that all her books are written equally. There are more books than this that I've read of hers, but I decided not to put them in my actual recommendation top 5 because these are my absolute, you have to read these, because I literally laughed so hard or cried my eyes out during these books. So I highly suggest that these are the ones that you try out, especially if you've never read a Colleen Hoover book before. So let's go ahead and get started with number 5 is Maybe Someday. The story I really liked because it actually had some American Sign Language in it. It dealt a lot with music, and the guy that's making the music actually is hard of hearing. So I just thought that that was a really nice touch for something in the story. The main character that we're dealing with in this book actually finds out that her boyfriend's cheating on her. That's how she comes to find this guy who writes the music and is hard of hearing, and what becomes of their relationship because he already has a girlfriend. And yeah, it's one of my favorites, and it actually has like a soundtrack on YouTube. So it's really cool to read the book and actually listen to the music along with it, since they have the lyrics in the book, and on YouTube they actually have singing, it's an actual, they're real songs from this book. So that's pretty cool. Now the number 4th one is Confess, and this one I actually read a few years ago, but I really liked it. It kind of had more of a suspense take plus the romance. It wasn't exactly a thriller, but I just remember being very intrigued finding out what was going to happen, the secrets that these people were keeping. I don't remember exactly the story of how it goes because the synopsis is very vague, so I don't want to give anything away, but this is definitely one of my favorites. Now number 3 is Ugly Love, and I remember crying a lot for this one. This one deals with the girl and the guy, and they kind of have this love-hate relationship. She's starting to fall for him, but he doesn't want her to fall too hard because he knows that he won't be able to actually have a full-on relationship with her. And we kind of find out why in the end, or close to the end, which totally broke my heart as to why he just couldn't give her all that she needed. And oh my gosh, it was just, I just cried so much. This is definitely one of my favorites. Now number 2 is November 9, and this one, I don't know, it's very hard. I do know what my number 1 spot is, but this one this one was in my number 1 spot for a really long time. And I really like this one because the way that she wrote this book, I literally felt like I was one of the characters that was in one of the relationships. And so when I was finding out what was happening in this relationship and I wasn't sure if they were going to get together, I literally felt like my own heart was breaking. Now the synopsis of this story I actually do remember quite well because I thought it was a very just intriguing how she wrote this book and where this story came from. So this girl and this guy, they meet on this day of November 9, and they kind of have it oh, it's fate or whatever. So the girl decides that she was gonna already be moving across country, and they really wanted to see each other again, but they didn't want to get into a relationship because she was focusing on herself. So she said, okay, in a year, if you want, we'll meet back here at the same spot on the same day of November 9. So they keep doing that every year, and this book goes, I think it's 4 years or whatever. And so you just kind of figure out what happened, oh, do they still like each other? Are they in the same place of life after a year? What happened after 2 years? Super crazy. I was very invested in this book, and so I have really highly, this is definitely one of those that I think people should definitely start out with first. And then my all-time favorite, just recently because she wrote this book last year in 2018, but my all-time favorite number 1 Colleen Hoover book is All Your Perfects, and I actually have it with me right now because I got it from the library again. I was going to reread this one just because I love it so much. So I'm hoping to reread this here this month again. This one I really love because it actually deals with a married couple this time. And so they're a little bit older than what the characters are in her other books. And it deals with infertility, which if you guys don't know, I actually struggle with that myself. So this really hit home for me. And I swear Colleen Hoover must be able to read my mind, because everything that this character felt in this book is exactly how I feel dealing with this. And that's one of the reasons why I do really love Colleen Hoover. To me, Colleen Hoover isn't just a romance author. Like, I really feel like she writes about real life situations in her books, puts it into like words that everyone seems to be able to understand, that everyone seems to be able to like feel like that's from them. And I just love it. It's not the normal like bad guy, nice girl, oh, do they end up together? It's actually like I could see these actually being people's stories in real life, but just in book form. But this is definitely my all-time favorite Colleen Hoover book. And I just highly suggest that you read at least one of the 5 that I talked about in this video. So that is all for this video. Don't forget, I run a book club on Facebook, so you are welcome to join. I have the links down below. I also have my Goodreads link if you want to become my friend or follow my reviews, and also my Bookstagram, so that way you can follow just what I'm currently reading at the moment. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.